All 219, and we have an unboxing here. We have a new firearm for the channel. So the quick lowdown on this gun is, I was at the feed store. I was looking for something totally unrelated to gun stuff, and I always stroll by the gun counter, and I found this gun. Not only did I find this gun, I noticed there was a lot more ammunition than the last time I was there on the shelf, which is a good sign. So I was talking to the gentleman, and I was kind of scrolling through their competitor next door to them, and they had this gun, their competitor, for $25 less. We talked about it. They said they could do some price matching in there, so that was a plus. And he just told me go over there, take a picture, and bring it back. He'll show it to his manager, and the deal is done. So I went back to the other place, and I couldn't find that gun. I hate it when gun counters are cluttered and everything's pushed together. Not only that, they didn't have sales stickers on the guns that they were advertising in their online stuff. So it was really hard to pick them out because all they had was just the gun sale stuff on top of the gun counter. It didn't point out which guns were on sale, or they didn't put the guns that were on sale in a different case. So I couldn't find this gun. I may have missed it. But then I saw that they had a bunch of guns in the counter, and that's something that we haven't seen in a while. And affordable guns too. The prices of the guns seem to be coming down. Elevation on ammunition is still there, but I was seeing 30-06 at this place. I was seeing 243. I was seeing 7.62 by 39. I was seeing even some shotgun rounds, whether it be turkey loads or bird shots. So it was encouraging to see a lot more than nothing on the shelf. So I went back to the other place where I purchased the firearm from. Told them I couldn't tell where the gun was if they had it. $25. It's not going to make or break me. And even at the store that I bought this gun at, they had ammunition on the shelf. So that was encouraging to see. Not only did they have more ammunition, that they had a lot more guns in their counter, a lot more affordable guns in their counter, and we'll get to that in a second. So this gun, it's not in the box, it's under the box, is the G3. The G3 just came out about a year or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. A lot of people have reviews on this gun. It comes with your normal stuff in the box, your lock. It does give you save a $30 sale on a Viridian red laser if you're interested in that. I'm not a big proponent of lasers on firearms, but that coupon is in there as well. So looking at the G3 Taurus. Taurus has been putting out some phenomenal guns. They just released the GX4. I'm going to be looking for that gun as well, just to hold it. Probably not going to purchase that gun because I do have a 365 and also have this PT-111 G2. I know that gun's a little bit better than this gun, but my SIG is really phenomenal, and I really enjoy that gun. We'll have to see if I get that gun in my hands. But Taurus has been turning the corner on their firearms. Their quality control is better. The products that they're putting out look better. They're kind of catching up to all these other people that were leaving Taurus in the dust until Taurus started coming out with stuff like the PT-111 G2. And before then, just the PT-111s. Then they jumped to the G2s, then the G2Cs, and then they had the G3s, and then the G3C, and now they have this new one, the GX4. So there's a lot of stuff that Taurus has been putting out here lately, and a lot of people love it. They're affordable firearms. Not only that, I saw a G2C right next to this gun for $250. That's where these guns were running pre-Cough Coco. So, I mean, that's really phenomenal. Not only that, Glocks were a little bit in the shape that they should be in for price-wise. So it's encouraging to see the price of firearms kind of come down a little bit. So just pay attention in your area. In my area, I've just noticed this here recently. So that's encouraging. Now back to this G3. The G3 has a lot more cool features than the older guns do. Of course, technology is always clutch when they start getting better at it. Comes along with 2 magazines. They are Mech-Gar mags, so they're pretty decent mags. a 15 rounder and a 17 rounder. And there are some pros and cons to the gun that we'll get into, but some of the pros in this, again, is the magazine and the capacity of it, and plus you get 2 magazines. That's always a pro. Another thing, the grip texture. A lot of people didn't like the older guns because it was all sandpapery. This one's been worn in a little bit, but again, I don't think it's as aggressive as the older guns. So that's cool. And again, I would call this a full-size gun. I have my CZ P10C here, and we'll kind of compare it together. And you can see the grip. The grip's a tad bit skinnier than my my CZ. And then the barrel length on it, if I can put them together here without them being all crazy and try and get them close to the back of the gun. As you can see, it's a tad bit shorter than the CZ. So I would call this pretty much a full-size gun for the most part. So everybody's coming out with these little compact micro 9s. I love a good full-size gun. Again, I like capacity, especially when I'm shooting at the range. I'm not always constantly filling magazines. This one, again, comes with two magazines, a 15 and a 17, so I could sit at the firing line a little bit longer and practice the skill of shooting, because it is perishable. Some of the features of the firearm, like I mentioned, was the grip texture. I like that. And then they continue with the scallops on there for memory, and putting your finger up here, and then on the other side, on the wrong side, as I call them, the wrong hand shooters, it's on both sides, but you can put your thumb there and kind of control a little bit of the recoil. So I like that feature. It's on the older guns as well. So that's something cool that they stuck with on this particular model. That's phenomenal. Along with the sights have changed. Instead of the 3-dot sight system, you have a blacked out rear and then a front white dot. Comes with a rail so you can put your accessories on there. Some good serrations on there that you can get a hold of if you want to do some press checks, things of that nature. So there's a lot of different features than what we saw on the older versions of the Taurus pistols. Another big upgrade on it, I think, just messing around with these two guns, is the trigger. As I can show the comparison of the triggers, different design in the trigger. This one's a lot wider, and I think it's a little bit more, I guess, ergonomic. And the trigger pull. Taurus pistols are notorious for a lot of slop in their trigger, and this unfortunately is no exception. As you can see, there's a lot of take up on here. I was measuring it at about 4.5, 5 pounds on my scale, but there's a lot of take up in there until it hits that wall, and it's got a pretty decent break on it, but the reset is where it's at. That's the reset, and then that's all the way out. So the reset, again, is phenomenal on the Taurus pistol, and it does have the second strike capability on there, which they haven't gone away with. This is the older version of the Taurus firearms. Again, a lot of that slops in there on this one until it hits the wall. It's got a break on it, and then the reset is short right there, and then it comes all the way out. So the reset on these guns, trigger reset on the guns, have been pretty good for the most part. Again, a lot of people are following the routine of the Micro 9 gun, because a lot more people are getting into concealed carry. If you haven't noticed, the country is really turning an about face, and a lot of states are passing pro-gun legislation for constitutional carry, permitless carry. So that's a good thing. So that only means a lot more law-abiding citizens are going to have a firearm to shoot, and a lot more law-abiding citizens are going to have a gun that they can afford to protect themselves if need be. So look at those kind of aspects too. Again, I have some friends that have this gun. Some people that I talk to, whether it be on the internet or personally, and they are satisfied with this gun. They were really surprised at it. And it performed well for them. No malfunctions, nothing goofy going on with the guns that they bought. Hopefully we don't have any trouble with this gun. But again, you get a limited lifetime warranty with the firearm so you can send it back to Taurus. Let me look where this one is made in Georgia. So I believe ever since Taurus started bringing their manufacturing here to the States, the quality control for the guns have gotten better. It's just one of those things where I think when companies and manufacturers manufacture in their home country, it's a lot easier to make parts instead of shipping stuff and things like that and all that jazz. So that's a good thing that Taurus has been doing, manufacturing firearms here in the States. So that's a plus. Now, some of the minuses. Again, I'll go with the mushy trigger. I don't like all that slop in there. If you look at my CZ here, I have little to no slop in this gun. It's right here. That's as much slop as you get. And then there it is. And then the reset is just, it's awfully good. So again, that's a drawback of these budgety kind of firearms. It's a $300 gun, so don't expect, a $600 gun trigger. The next thing I can say is magazines. Just like I talked about in my previous videos about the breakdown of firearms, I don't understand why people are still sticking with the roll pins or a pin kind of function to take down firearms. I don't like that, especially if you lose the pin, and that's your only gun. You're going to be screwed, and you're going to have to order it and wait, and then you're going to have no gun. Same thing with magazines. I don't like it when they do this with magazines and they put this little, I guess the little boot, the extension on there where it moves. I do not like that. Just in case, I see it in a situation, and if you're going to 2 mags, you're in a bad spot. But you get that mag out, and then you go to grab your other mag, and we're not all proficient, and you start fumbling with it, and that thing starts to ride around on you. So I think what I'm going to do in the end, like I've done with a couple of other guns that I have that have this thing that moves, is I'm probably going to put a tad bit of glue down there, and then hopefully that will stabilize that, and that won't move. Because I don't know why companies keep on doing that. I wish they would just mold it with the base plate and be done with it. Another thing that's a pro, I'll give it a pro, is on the 17 round magazine, they do have those indents. If you can see them on the side here, in case you do have some kind of hiccup, that you can tear that magazine out of there, okay? You can tear it out of there and try and clear that malfunction and get back into the fight. So that's a good thing. I see a lot more companies going with something like that on their magazines, which is good. It helps out a lot. Another little drawback of the firearm is what Taurus has been doing for years and years, is the safety stuff. Like this one has the key lock on there, plus it has a manual safety. A lot of the older guns, like some of the first guns that came out, that key lock, while you're shooting it, it would lock itself off and then make the gun inoperable. That was a problem with these guns back in the day. This one doesn't have it, but it still has a manual safety on it. I'm not a big proponent of manual safeties on firearms. I do have them on a couple of them, and I'll use them from time to time, especially if I'm with a new shooter teaching someone else to shoot. That's a bonus. That way we're a little bit safer on the range. But sometimes when I shoot these guns with the safety and I get a little bit of recoil, my thumb will bump that up. And then when you shoot, there's nothing going on. So that's another thing I don't like about manual safeties on firearms, because they kind of get in the way. And that one gets in the way. If I would shoot this gun like I'm going to do, hopefully, I think I'm going to put my thumb over that so I don't create some kind of malfunction. But we'll have to see when I go out and shoot this gun. I'm ecstatic. I think Taurus guns for the money are good. They're a good starting point. They're a good reference point. It's a good first-time gun owner gun, in my opinion, and it's just my opinion. Especially somebody that doesn't have a lot of cash in their pocket. These guns are very popular for their affordability. Even this new gun that's coming out, I heard it's going to even be below $400, somewhere in that range, or it's going to be a little above $400, but not much. That's very affordable when you start looking at Glocks, especially the newer ones. And like the 26s, they're hovering still around little over $600. So again, if somebody doesn't have that much money, these are good options to go to. This would be great for a truck. This would be great for an SUV. Heck, I'd even take this thing hunting for a backup gun in case something came around and we both didn't want each other there. I would have to pull this out and use it. Be a great option for that. And plus, again, I like a full-size gun. There's a little bit more meat on the bones. There's a little bit more recoil that's going to be soaking up here. So I'm ecstatic. A lot of guns now, this one doesn't have it, are becoming optics ready. They're all having the slides cut for optics. That's another thing that's becoming real huge in gun culture, is the people that are running optics on their gun. I do believe this can, if you're into that, you can get it optics ready. So look into that. If you're starting to transfer over from your irons to using an optic. So a lot of good stuff coming from Taurus, man. This is another one that I think they, capitalized on. And now that we see everybody kind of going down into the micro stuff, now PSA is coming out with their dagger. I've seen a couple videos on the dagger now, and that's almost like a Glock 19-ish gun. So we're starting to fluctuate in between good guns coming out. This one seems to be a good one. The G3. Now this dagger's coming out. Seems to be not having problems. So I'm telling you, we're living in the best time of firearms, folks. If you're not a gun owner, this is the best time to become a gun owner, because there's so many great options that are hitting the market. Kind of getting that bug again. Back in the day when new stuff would come out there, they'd try and top each other, but they came out with good products, like when SIG started coming out with the 320s, and then you had Smith & Wesson coming out with the M&P lines, the shields and all that jazz. That was exciting as well. So you're seeing a little bit more fluctuation in firearms in my area, to be specific, and they're becoming more affordable. Now again, handgun ammunition isn't readily available, and we are still paying those elevated prices on it. So keep that in mind, because it'll take a lot to feed a 15-round magazine and a 17-round magazine to kind of, I would call it a break in the firearm. Again, I like to shoot at least a box or two of ammunition through the gun to make sure it's still functioning, and then maybe another box or two after that, just to get a good preference of how to shoot this gun, how to handle it, and to make sure it doesn't have malfunctions or anything goofy going on with the gun. A lot of good stuff coming out. A lot of good stuff from Taurus. Be aware out there. Look at the prices at your locals. Calm down on the ammunition buying, so we can start getting some handgun ammunition on there, and nobody's paying a premium to get it on their shelf and then taxing us a double premium to get it. I've seen that at times. So what a fantastic firearm so far. I'm really pleased with it. I like bigger firearms, especially in the wintertime. A little bit easier to conceal. We're moving towards that in the nation, in the great union that we live in. So I'm excited about that. So stay tuned for on the channel of the G3, the full-size version, and we'll give it a shot. We'll shoot a couple of rounds through it, make sure it functions, and you never know. This might go into the woods with me on turkey hunts, or it might be carried in the wintertime. So I'm excited about that. Can't wait to get out there and shoot. It's been a while since I've done that. With all that being said, I like to thank my old and my new subscribers and just the people that zip through. I greatly do appreciate it. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell for more notifications whenever YouTube wants to send them out. Please do that for everybody that you watch on YouTube. It helps with the algorithms, so they can kind of push up in the content. I've seen it kind of fluctuate on my my friends' channels and other people that I watch and get information from. So that helps out a lot. And don't forget about the comment section. If you own this gun, if you shot this gun, if you like this gun, if you hate this gun, create a conversation down there. Let's stay connected. Let's throw our opinions out there. I just ask for you, please be cordial down in the comments. Watch the words that you use. YouTube has been dinging my comments for people that are using language in there. So just be cordial down there and let's have a great time. Get ready to shoot. And like always, guys, we'll catch you on the next one.